What's going on, guys? It's Luke here. This is going to be a weekly outlook for the week coming up from October 27th to 31st, 2025. We're basically going to go over the areas I have marked out on my charts, everything on NQ. We're going to go over ES really quick, and then we're going to run through the news really quick. If you guys want to have an alpha futures discount link, we have 30% off. October 26th is the last day on the sale, so if you guys want to run that, if not, it's 10%. So link will be in the pinned comment. Link for the Discord for daily pre-market analysis. We'll run some voice chat trading, live trading, all that stuff coming soon. So if you guys want to join, link will be in the pinned comment as well. And link for my TikTok where I'll go more in depth on the news will be in the pinned comment. So let's run right through this. We're going to start from the monthly and then work our way down. Pretty straightforward analysis this week. As you can see, the monthly candle still has about the rest of this week, and then it's closed. Monthly still in crazy bullish order flow. We have this monthly bullish fair value gap all the way down here, but right now this monthly candle is bullish. That's all we really need to know. On the weekly, again, we had a strong weekly bullish close above these highs over here, and weekly is continuing to be in bullish order flow. If we remember over here, we bounced off of this weekly bullish fair value gap right here, and then we continued to the upside, and we've been continuing weekly bullish order flow. Trend is obviously very steep to the upside. And for weekly draws and liquidity, I have marked out obviously the current previous week's high and the all-time high, and then we have our previous week's low. And then down here, I marked out this weekly low as a more kind of like higher time frame sell side draw on liquidity. Then we move down to the daily. And our daily's in bullish order flow. Obviously, we put in all-time highs on Friday. We had a crazy push to the upside throughout the night and then into AM session with CPI and all that stuff. And we ended up putting in a new all-time high. And the daily is in bullish order flow. We obviously had this big sell-off at the end of the last Friday. And we had this daily fair value gap, or not the last Friday, the week before, whatever. And we had this daily fair value gap. And if you remember, I was saying I want to see what would happen with guidance with this daily gap. If we inverse it, we're going to continue to the upside. And if we continue to reject it, I want to see price go lower. Obviously, we ended up inversing it, and we continued to the upside, just like I figured was going to happen if we did get that break above. And here, on the daily, for the draws and liquidity, I just have marked out this daily low right down here, okay? So basically, main draws and liquidity, previous week's high, previous week's low, this daily low and this weekly low, and then we have also this daily fair value gap. If you can, as you can see right here, we actually had a slight inverse to the downside. We just barely closed below this, and then we had an immediate push back up, so it pretty much did respect it. But I still have this daily fair value gap marked out on my chart just because it can still have some relevance to us, and I'm going to go over that in a minute. So let's run over to ES really quick. We're in pretty much the same exact scenario. Monthly is in bullish order flow. We're pretty much the same thing on both of these. Weekly, we have our previous week's high, all-time high. We have previous week's low. We have this weekly low marked out. Daily, exact same thing. We ended up inversing this daily bearish fair value gap right here, and we flipped to the upside. We have respected within this daily bullish gap, and we had a continuation up and put in an all-time high. So we have pretty much the same draws and liquidity marked out. So we're going to run back to NQ, and I'm going to be talking about basically just kind of my plan and just some ideas going into the week. So obviously scenario number one is we just continue to push into bullish order flow. We just continue into price discovery, continue to make new highs and new lows, and we target overnight levels as our draws and liquidity. For example, say overnight, we put in a high, and then throughout London we retrace. We can use those overnight London highs or whatever previous day highs as our targets to continue into price discovery. As long as price is at all-time highs, I'll most likely be looking to long as long as the trend continues up. So scenario number one, we see price discovery, we see continuation up, and we look to enter on these pullbacks and target the overnight highs as our draws and liquidity. That would be scenario number one. Now scenario number two, potentially we see price retrace into this daily fair value gap and see if it wants to respect it again. If it respects it, obviously we most likely see that continuation, back to the upside. This would be an area to watch out for. It's still an area I have marked on my chart. Now, another scenario in terms of bearish is if we inverse this gap, we push to the downside, we show that we were in bearish order flow on the higher time frame, we're likely going to want to seek out that previous week's low as a sell side draw on liquidity. From there, we might see that retracement back up and continuation to the upside, but that would be the first major sell side draw on liquidity. It's going to be that previous week's low. And now, in terms of a bearish scenario, I'm going to be seeing if we end up trading below previous week's low, and we close below that, that's where the higher time frame bias is likely going to shift bearish, and I'm going to be looking for retracements in order for price to come down and take out more higher time frame draws and liquidity, potentially down that that weekly swing low and potentially back into that weekly gap, and then continuations down there. So that's pretty much the only situations that we really have. Number one, we continue up Let me draw them out really quick. Number one, we continue up into price discovery. We continue to make new highs and new lows, and we target overnight levels as our draws and liquidity, like overnight London high, Asia high, whatever like that. That would be scenario number one. We just, continue to trade with the trend until the trend is not bullish anymore, pretty much. Scenario number two, maybe we retrace into this daily gap and we see if we continue to hold it. Maybe we get confirmation and we continue to the upside, but pretty much the same scenario as this, continuing with the uptrend. Scenario number three, if we continue to push down, show bearish confirmation, bearish order flow, we inverse this daily. Then if we get a retrace, I'm going to be looking for, potential sell side target is going to be this previous week's low. That's going to be our main sell side target of the week, right? That's our major sell side draw on liquidity as of right now going into the week. So that's where I'll be looking. And again, from this low right here, if we do sweep that previous week's low, this could be a potential area for price to want to reverse from. So keep an eye on that previous week's low. And if we do end up trading below that previous week's low, that's where the higher time frame bias for me will shift bearish, and I'm going to be looking to target down to those higher time frame draws and liquidity and see that rebalance on the higher time frame. So major draws and liquidity to really pay attention to is obviously that previous week's low, and see what happens in this daily fair value gap, right? If we continue to hold this daily fair value gap, we're likely going to continue to the upside, and if we inverse it, then we're likely going to head towards that previous week's low, and then we'll have to pay attention to see what happens at that previous week's low. Going into the week, I still have a bullish bias. Obviously, we're still in bullish order flow. We're still trending bullish, and that's really not going to change for me unless, we get a higher time frame shift to the downside. So we'll be watching out for S&Ts. We'll be watching the lower time frame every day. We're going to take it day by day, see what happens with the news. But right now, everything continue to look bullish, and I'm really not trying to change my stance in the market right now. So let's run through the news really quick. A lot of the news is tentative, so if you guys want to follow me on TikTok, I'll go through it more in depth and talk about how I'm approaching everything day by day as it changes, because some of this news might get changed, right? So starting off the week on Monday, we have a no news Monday. On this day, I'll be on the charts, but I'll likely just be trading eval, but I'll be on the charts. If we catch anything A+, I'll take it on eval or very light risk, but I'm probably going to be saving capital for the rest of the week. Tuesday, we have no red folder news, but we do have Richmond Manufacturing Index at 10, and we have consumer confidence, but as you can see, it's tentative, so don't know what time that is yet. So for me, I'll be trading normally on Tuesday personally. That should be, I like trading those orange folder days. They're fine for me, and it's not a no news Monday, so I'll be willing to trade on Tuesday pretty normally. Then Wednesday, we have pending home sales at 10, which does actually bring in some volatility, even though it is an orange folder event. And then we have the main event, which is FOMC federal funds rate and the FOMC press conference at 2:30. So basically, for me, my idea on the FOMC day is to kind of try to catch a trade as quickly as I possibly can. Obviously not forcing something, but the later we roll into the afternoon past 11 o'clock, I notice that the volume and we kind of start to chop in anticipation for FOMC. So I don't personally really trade PM unless I, go on eval sometimes, but I always trade New York AM normally. So personally for me, I'm going to be just looking for A+ setups, and basically just trying to catch something as soon as I possibly can, and then getting off for the day, because again, the longer the session rolls on, the lower the probability in my experience. So Wednesday will be a normal trading day, just trying to get in and out of the market as fast as possible. Obviously not forcing any setups, but if we see something A+ early into market open, we'll take it, and then we'll probably be done for the day. But yeah, it should be an interesting day to see how all that plays out and how that affects the market. Now, on Thursday, we have advanced GDP, and again, this is tentative again, so I'm going to have to take this, minute by minute, wake up that day and see what's going on, or see what's happening, if we get any updates on the time and everything like that. So, again, I'll update you guys on my TikTok. I like trading this day. Again, it's just a normal red folder day, but we just got to see what time it is, so I'll update you guys on TikTok exactly what I'm doing in anticipation of that day, but that will be a normal trading day for the most part. And then on Friday, same thing, we have core PCE, employment cost index, which are red folder events, but again, they're tentative. So we're going to have to see what time this happens at, and we'll go from there. I'll update you guys on that, but this will be a normal trading day as well, most likely. So that's going to wrap it up from you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Again, keep these areas marked on your charts, pay attention, and we're always going to be looking at the lower time frames for more confirmation, but this is our higher time frame kind of layout. And again, I'll update you guys throughout the week on how I'm approaching every single day by the news. All the links in the pinned comment and the description. Go check that out, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Peace.